about that Wonder Woman 1984? Wonder Woman 1984 was my most anticipated film of 2020. Let me start off by saying that I feel the first Wonder Woman is a true masterpiece of superhero cinema. Everything about that film worked for me. It had great characters across the board, and it just puts me in a great mood every time I see it. To this day, I remember fondly the standing ovation the No Man's Land scene got when I watched it theatrically, so I was counting down the days for the sequel. However, given that 2020 has been a massive hellscape, it kept getting delayed and delayed. But I was still going to see this by any means necessary, even if that meant going into a theater in the middle of a pandemic. Then the bomb dropped that this would drop simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max, and everyone lost their shit. So, controversial opinion time. I didn't hate this movie. Wonder Woman 1984 sees Patty Jenkins return to the director's chair and serve as a co-writer. The film sees Diana stumble upon a gem that can grant wishes to anyone it holds, but with a monkey paw twist. However, the gem falls into the wrong hands. It's a film that pays complete homage to Richard Donner, having that blend of Superman the movie's optimism and some Lethal Weapon-esque action sequences. There are moments where filmmaking shines, be it the opening scene on Themyscira, or just getting perfect shots like Diana and Steve flying through fireworks. To all the people talking about how cheesy Wonder Woman 1984 can be, that's the point! At the end of the day, Wonder Woman's origins were based in camp. Lest we forget, William Moulton Marston, the guy who created Wonder Woman, was in a polyamorous relationship with two women and was heavily into BDSM. In the 1970s TV show, Wonder Woman was powered by feminine bracelets. Hans Zimmer's score is at times playful and fun. Two words I didn't think would come out of my mouth about Hans Zimmer. Zimmer also allows for some wonderful music to come out. So let's talk about Gal Gadot. Have you ever seen that South Park episode where Britney Spears attempts to kill herself but is now a job with a body and is still getting criticized? It's a hard episode to watch, but it perfectly nails the theme of that episode. We build celebrities up only to tear them down. Gadot is a prime example of this. She was a superstar after Wonder Woman. In interviews, Gadot seems like a genuinely wonderful and humble person. She's just happy to take on this iconic role. Which brings us to this.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Gal Gadot choosing to lead a sing-along of Imagine, a song about the joys of communism from people in multi-million-dollar mansions, wasn't a good look. Even then, there was another John Lennon penned song she could have went with. It's easy. All you need is love. But literally the day after this cover dropped, David Geffen bragged about being on a fucking yacht during a pandemic on Instagram. That ranked way higher on my offendometer than a sing-along of Imagine. It was a shitty idea, but I understood why Gadot chose to lead a sing-along of Imagine. Yes, it's bad, but it's not look at my fucking yacht bad. With all that said, she still kills it as Wonder Woman. You can see the absolute joy on her face doing this film. When watching this, I said to myself, Gal Gadot is a great actress. She is giving this film her all. She truly is embracing this character. Of course, we have to talk about Chris Pine, the superior Chris.
I have spoken!
Chris Pine is actually really great here. Gadot and Pine still have that phenomenal chemistry. I also like that he isn't exactly a Hemsworth character. A male character who is just a drooling dumbass that just serves to be in awe of a female character. He is a fish out of water in 1984, but he never comes off as a bumbling idiot. But I'm going to put a pin on Steve Trevor and get back to him. I think Kristen Wiig is phenomenal casting as Barbara Minerva. Though it's the trope of the nerdy person who has a Mark David Chapman level obsession with the hero, this is the best representation of that trope. I've always stated that I liked Wiig better as a dramatic actress than a comedic one. Here she balances both perfectly. She gave me what I wanted, a slow transition into her character from Mother. I knew Pedro Pascal was going to be a star when I saw him do a Burt Reynolds pastiche in Kingsman: The Golden Circle. He also has skin in the game. He also appeared in the failed Wonder Woman pilot starring Toledo's own Adrian Palicki. I love how he approaches Maxwell Lord as this slimy televangelist type, but as the film progresses, you see some layers with this character. There is a genuinely fun post-credit scene that makes me wish that this character appears in the third one that was just announced as I finished typing this. But this film is so fucking average. What happened here? There are moments of pandering fan service that even the Rise of Skywalker would look down on this film. Let's get back to Steve Trevor. I was worried about Steve Trevor coming back. His death serves as the emotional climax of the film. Not only that, the line Trevor says, "I can save today, you can save the world," is my favorite line of the film. I was thinking of all the hypotheticals. Would they approach it like the TV show in its later seasons and make him the son of the original? Would he be reincarnated? Turns out those ideas were better than what is in the final film. Steve Trevor's soul randomly appears as a guy who was credited as Handsome Man. Diana is the only person who can see him, but to everyone else, he is Handsome Man. But this film and Tenet both have similar issues. They are both unnecessarily exposition heavy. We get scenes that should be show don't tell but aren't. Diana straight up tells Barbara she is losing her humanity.
Where's your warmth, your joy, your humanity?
Duh.
Then there is the pacing of this film. I say this as the guy who just bought the Criterion edition of The Irishman, a film that is readily available on Netflix and is eagerly awaiting the 4-hour Snyder cut of Justice League. But this film didn't need to be 2.5 hours long. This needed at the very least half an hour cut out of it. When something does happen, it felt as if the film just skipped a scene. Another film to compare this to is Doctor Strange, where the film doesn't kick into high gear until the second act of the film. The first Wonder Woman had me hook, line, and sinker from Tina Guo's emotional cello playing over the Warner Brothers logo. Don't get me wrong, I liked the first 10 minutes of Wonder Woman 1984, but I wasn't quite hooked the way I was with the first film, where we see baby Diana practicing punches and kicks. Then we get to the big fight with Cheetah. When we see Wig in close-up in practical makeup, I said, why aren't we doing this? The practical makeup actually looked pretty good in close-up. Cheetah is a ground-level threat. Keep in mind, Jenkins bragged about one thing when dropping the trailer.
We did so much for real wire work, real locations, huge, and now with modern technology, so you're gonna see what you're gonna see today, that's real people doing those stunts on real locations.
Imagine how cool this would have been if this were a practical fight scene and not a CGI mess. One of the best scenes of the film is the fight between Diana and Barbara in the White House. This should have been a mostly ground-level fight. I don't watch or read reviews until I'm done with mine, but after I was done writing, I saw one great point. The Birdman, the guy who wrote CinemaSins videos, nailed my main issue with this fight scene.
For future reference, if a CGI movie fight is happening at night, 7 times out of 10, it's done to hide bad CGI.
To top it off, it looks like it was shot in the daytime and then made to look like night in post. Is Wonder Woman 1984 cinematic cancer? No. I like the themes that are explored. The 4 main performances elevate this otherwise bloated and messy script. Patty Jenkins is still a phenomenal filmmaker, and I can't wait to see what she does with Rogue Squadron. It has some issues, but I never sat there angry at this film. Hell, Wonder Woman 1984 isn't even the worst superhero movie I've sat through this year. That distinction goes to the New Mutants. Let me give you some perspective here. I saw Josh Gad shit dirt out of his ass with the best CGI 1998 has to offer, Tom Hardy as Al Capone shooting people wearing a diaper, and a cynical remake of The Witches that should have came out in 2002. Pre-pandemic, I watched Robert Downey Jr. pull CGI bagpipes out of a dragon's ass in a movie theater. If you want to watch a far worse version of Wonder Woman 1984, watch Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. Again, Pedro Pascal would have made a great Mr. Rourke. But I'm just going to say this bluntly. Jeff Johns needs to stay the hell away from Wonder Woman 3. Controversial opinion time. I want Zack Snyder on board for Wonder Woman 3 because he truly understands this character.
I love that there's a purity to Wonder Woman, that she is purely a hero. She doesn't have the broken past. She's not seeking revenge on the people that wronged her family or that wronged her as a child and made her dark.
You know, I should do a video on that guy in March. It's perfectly average when this should have been incredible. I debated what star rating to give this. And after careful deliberation, I decided to give Wonder Woman 1984 a 2.5 out of 5. Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word of New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media. And until then...
Respect.